Hello! Hi guys, it's Anam Ghafoor here with two Apple iPhone 5 variants. Along the left hand side here we have the white silver slate iPhone 5 from September 2012, and I originally picked this up here in the UK for £530. Along the right hand side here we have the new Apple iPhone 5C released in September 2013, and I picked this up here in the UK for £470. Links will be in the description down below if you're after one. As Apple's discontinued the iPhone 5 from 2012, they've replaced it with this 5C version for 2013. So we're going to take a look at what similarities and differences there are between both the variants. Beginning with the displays first of all, both devices have exactly the same screens. Both devices have a 4-inch LED backlit IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with a resolution of 1136 by 640, which brings up the same 326 pixels per inch on both devices, which sits underneath corners Gorilla Glass. And although both these variants are in the colour white, notice the iPhone 5 from 2012, the bezel and the home button match the phone's colour, so they're both white. However, the 5C for 2013 does not match the phone's colour because the bezel and the home button are black, so the only thing that changes when you buy the iPhone 5C is the back. And you can choose from white, red, yellow, blue and green variants. Both devices have a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera capable of shooting 720p videos at 30 frames per second. Apple's advised that this camera on this 5C is superior to the 5 just purely because it has larger pixels and an improved backlight illumination sensor, giving it better performance under low light conditions. And apart from the camera, the only other real improvement that the 5C has over its predecessor is that its network connectivity. It has more support for 3G and 4G bands. Both devices have the same memory and CPU, which means 1GB of DDR2 RAM, as well as the same dual-core 1.3GHz A6 CPU. Before it was discontinued, the iPhone 5 was available in 16, 32 and 64GB variants. However, the 5C is only available in 16 and 32GB variants. You couldn't expand the storage on the iPhone 5 because it didn't have a micro SD card slot, and that still is the case with the 5C because that lack of a micro SD card slot is still missing. Placing the 5 over the 5C, the form factor hasn't changed that much at all. However, the 5C is ever so slightly longer at 124.4mm in comparison to the 5's 123.8mm. The 5C is ever so slightly wider as well at 59.2mm in comparison to the 5's 58.6mm. And you'd also notice that the 5C is ever so slightly fatter at 9mm thickness in comparison to the slender 7.6mm of the 5. Taking a look at the materials used on the 5, feeling premium to the touch with this combination of aluminium and glass and its chamfered edges, and only weighing in at 112 grams in comparison to the 5C's plastic polycarbonate finish, weighing in slightly heavier at 132 grams. A tour of both the devices results in almost exactly the same components being used, with the same 8-megapixel rear-facing camera capable of shooting 1080p at 30 frames per second with a resolution of 3264 by 2448 with a LED flash right next to it, and sandwiched in between is a secondary noise cancelling microphone. Comparing the tops of both these devices here, once I've got those lined up, you can see exactly the same on-off sleep wake button, same positioning and size to the sides of both these devices here, and you can see the ring silent switch is in exactly the same place. The shape is still the same as well, although the volume up and down buttons are positioned in the same place. The shapes have changed from the circular ones from the above 5 to the lower 5C's more rectangular rounded off corners, as you can see here. Moving towards the bottom of both these devices here, and the layout stays exactly the same, where you've got the 3.5mm audio jack along the left hand side, the microphone, the lightning connector in the middle with the speakers towards the right hand side. On the final side here is laid out exactly the same again, with the nano SIM card slot being in the center and sized exactly the same as in the previous iteration. And when it comes to connectivity for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, both devices are exactly the same, both supporting Wi-Fi standards 802.11a, b, g and N. Both devices are dual band handsets, and both devices also support Bluetooth 4.0. The battery also gets a mention, whereas on the iPhone 5 it had a 1440 mAh battery, providing standby times of 225 hours. This has been increased on the 5C to 1510 mAh, providing standby times of 250 hours. And finally, the operating system. The 5C ships with iOS 7. This is also available on the 5 but via system update. And that's been a look at some of the similarities and differences between the iPhone 5 from 2012 and the 5C from 2013. As ever, any comments or questions you guys have got, hit them up in the comment section down below there. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video and you like what we saw, and if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. It's also down there as well. It doesn't cost you a penny, and you can also check out some of our forthcoming videos. Thanks for watching, have a wicked day, and we'll see you next time.